Hello, can we all hear me? Okay, somebody is responding. All right, good morning, Mr. Shitu Abdullah. Good morning, Kele Mamadou Sultan. Thanks for being here. Yes, all right, so let's get started. So I hope you had a very wonderful weekend. I had a very good one and refreshed. I'm back to work today, back to making the peeps and showing you how to make the peeps. So let's move on. Today is the 8th of August, 2022. I'm sure for those who have been with us for a while, I'm sure all this analysis, yeah, thanks, D. So the weekend was splendid. Yes, my module 100%, mine too was 100%. So as I was saying, I'm sure for some of us that have been joining us on this analysis for a while now, I want to believe you are picking a few things that is already shaping how you trade the markets. And, I believe you are improving as a trader. You can see the market clearly and take a better informed decision as regards trading. And that's the essence of this class. It's not just to throw you signals. It's not just to give you the fish, like they say, but to show you how to catch the fish. So last week, Friday, we had the NFP. NFP is the most volatile news in the FX industry. And it came out in such a way that it favored the dollar. We'll still get to the analysis on gold, which we've been following for quite a while, and see what we're expected to do with gold this week. But then let's get started. We can see Euro JPY. If you can see my screen, please type yes. I want to be sure we can all see my screen. My screen is showing empty 4 at your end. Please type yes. Okay, thank you. So the first instrument we are analyzing is the Euro JPY. And as you can see, Euro JPY is forming a rising wedge on the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour. So with this rising wedge, we're expecting a bearish movement in Euro JPY. Currently, what I'm seeing here, now it may play out like that, it may not play out like that, but then what matters is that it breaks out. But I'm seeing the possibility of a shoulder ahead and probably another shoulder and a breakout. That's a possibility, and it could also break out straight. And it's also clear this could as well be a double top and breakout. But what is important is that we're expecting a breakout of price out of this, rising wedge. So with this setup, we are bearish biased on the Euro JPY. You look for sell opportunities once price breaks out of this trend line, and preferably your RSI also, this RSI, preferably your RSI below 50. It must coincide with your RSI below 50. If you have a breakout without your RSI being below 50, please, you need to be cautious. You need to take caution. You need to exercise a little patience to ensure that you have a very good formation before you take the trade. So like I said, we are bearish biased on Euro JPY. And the next instrument we're looking at is the Euro GBP. Now, the Euro GBP is forming a head and shoulder pattern. Shoulder, head, and a second shoulder. Now, how did we come about this? Now, if you go to the daily time frame, on the daily time frame, we can see price, hitting different levels on this trend line. You can see price hit this level, and in each instance, it's more or less like a pin bar. A second time, and last week Friday, a third time. So with this, we're expecting a bearish. Now, this price has been trending downward, so we're expecting, a continuation of the downward trend on Euro GBP. So coming down to 1 hour, we cited the formation of a head and shoulder, head, and a second shoulder. And this this level, oh, sorry, let me clean it off. Okay, let me still leave it. And this level here is acting as the neckline. So whenever price breaks out below this, neckline, then you should be ready to sell Euro GBP. Alternatively, or whichever way, you can likewise place a sell stop pending order at the tip of the pin bar here. You can sell. Please let's mute our devices. Let's mute all devices. Okay. I'm still audible. I think I am. Yeah. So alternatively, you can put a sell stop at the tip of this pin bar here. You can, or just all this by discretion, or let's say much more recently, just somewhere around here. So that once price breaks out of the neckline and breaks out of this minor support levels, you see a continuous downward movement in price on Euro GBP. So today, let's look out for bearish trades on Euro GBP. So we are bearish biased on the Euro GBP. Next, we look at AUD-JPY. Now we can see AUD-JPY, it's already trading within a rising wedge. So what we're expecting to happen is a breakout of the rising wedge downwards, as in breaking out downwards out completely. Then we should be ready for a sell. So we look out for sell opportunities on, and we only take the trade when it breaks out of the trend line, and your RSI also below 50. So let's look out for bearish trades on the AUD-JPY. Next, we look at CAD JPY. It looks like majority of all the JPY pairs are just, they are bearish today. Now you see on the CAD JPY price, it's a resistance level here, first time, second time, third time, and here the fourth time is still testing it. I'm sure if we go to a higher time frame like 4 hours, this should be looking more like a pin bar. Yes, I'm correct. It's looking more like a pin bar. Now, the time now is 9 a.m. If by 10 a.m., which is the next 4-hour candle, this pin bar is sustained. If this pin bar is sustained by 10 a.m., then it will signal the beginning of a bearish movement on CAD JPY. If this pattern is sustained till 10 o'clock, it will signal the beginning of a bearish trend on on CAD JPY. So let's look out for bearish trade on CAD JPY. What we're waiting for in a real sense is a breakout of price outside the trend line, outside this trend line. Once we see that, then we sell. Though currently the way it's looking, it's not too clear, but this could be a shoulder, a head. We could have a second shoulder and a breakout, or this could have just as well be a double top, second top, and a breakout. Either ways, but what is important, like I would say, is there must be a breakout eventually from this instrument. So we'll look out strictly for bearish trades on CAD JPY. Next, we'll look at CHF JPY. Now, you know that last week, all the JPY pairs were trending up. They were trending up. Now it looks like the trend is changing. They are coming in the bearish direction. For CHF JPY, it's a rising wedge, and we are equally looking for a bearish opportunity on this trade. So you wait till price breaks out of the trend line, then you can take a bearish trade on CHF JPY. We look at New Zealand JPY, and then we look at gold. And that will be all for this morning. New Zealand JPY, just like it, other pairs, it's also looking really bearish. You can see price hitting a resistance level here. Second time, a third time, then we're expecting a breakout. I tell you, this setup is a very, very good one. And you just need to prepare yourself to make some pips on all this setup we're giving. Now, I've mentioned about five JPY pairs. Now, in real science, you don't have to trade all of them. Don't say because it's given an analysis then you hit all. No. You could just take the first two that matures or maximum three, and that should be okay. You don't need to trade all signals. Like I always explain, the reason why we give a lot is that sometimes it's possible you get busy with your daily schedule and you miss some. So if you miss some, then you can take the remaining. If you take all, that will be over trading and it's risky. You are not managing your risk very well. So as much as possible, don't take all. For the JPY pairs, you could take two trades. There's a setup on Euro GBP. You could take that one. That doesn't have the JPY. And the other one that we're going to give now, you could also take. So with that, you'll be safe. Don't always take multiple trades on similar currency pairs. You know, it's not managing. If you do that, you are not managing your risk very well. It's not professional. So finally, we look at gold. Okay, Mr. Kelly, I'll look at GBP USD. Let me talk about gold. Pardon my pronunciation if it's not the correct pronunciation of your name. Just pardon me. So this is gold. Now we're expecting some very, very good movement on gold this week. You know, the NFP has come and gone. Now, this is the earlier analysis on gold. Gold has been trading within a descending channel, and that's on the daily time frame. And price has hit different levels on this descending channel, you know, here, two, and last week it hit this level but was unable to break it. And secondly, we also had a support turn resistance here. Support is in support all along. Then price broke out and price came to hit it as a resistance level and is still unable to break it. Now that's technically. So technically, we're looking for a bearish movement on gold. If you drop down to 4-hour time frame, we'll also see that price is trading within a rising wedge, a confirmation of a bearish movement on gold. And fundamentally also, the NFP came out to favor the dollar, meaning the dollar is expected to go bullish. So if the dollar will go bullish, then we expect gold to go bearish. However, we still need to take a lot of caution. One, you only take this trade when price breaks out of the rising wedge. Break it as in a complete breakout with your RSI below 50. Yes, RSI is at 49.8 at the moment. It's still not a reason to sell. But I would prefer if you have to take this trade, we still need to take a lot of caution. There are certain levels that have to be broken. Like for example, this can serve as a minor support. This support, even if price breaks out here, you need to wait for price to break this minor support. And there are many scenarios around this instrument. So it's an instrument to take, you trade with a lot of caution, Though it will turn out to be good, but then just exercise a lot of caution. Price could make a head and shoulder, head, a second shoulder and drop. It's a possibility. And it's also possible that price could retrace up from here, you know, hit the resistance so that this place forms a double top and drop. That's also a possibility. Or price breaks this level completely, just straight away and sell. But whichever way, we remain bearish biased on gold for this week. We're bearish biased. Okay, so that's my analysis on the instruments I've analyzed so far. About 7 of them. You can avail yourself of this instrument to make profit in the market today and some other days in the week. Though during the course of the week, we'll still have more analysis on more instruments as they unfold. Does anybody have any question on the instruments I've analyzed so far?
Please remember the GPB, the USD, sir.
Yes, I'll take it. Let me take questions on the ones I've analyzed so far. Do we have any question? Any question on instruments so far? Okay. In the absence of any, then let's look at GBP USD.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Came in a little late. Euro USD.
Euro USD. So
Yes.
I should check Euro USD. Is that what you mean?
No. I don't know if you have analyzed it. I came in a little bit like 20 minutes into the class.
No, I did not analyze Euro USD.
I don't know if you can just scan through it, sir.
All right, I'll do that.
Please mute yourself, brother.
Sir, please mute that devices. Please, okay, thank you. All right. So let's look at GBP USD. Okay, now this is GBP USD. Now, currently, we are having a lot of, the setup is not looking too perfect. That's why I didn't mention it, though we're expecting, there's a possibility of a bearish movement, but then I'm not seeing something too clear setup wise on this chart. Is looking scattered. See, for me, I don't like to force a trade. If a trade is not looking clean, there's no point. We are not trying to gamble. We are trying to take the best, trades. And that's why, some trainers will tell you, stick to just one instrument. For me, that I don't think it should go that way. So I look at multiple instruments and I pick the ones with clarity. I don't look at instruments that are not looking too clear. Okay. So that being said, for GBP USD, this is looking more like a channel at the moment. It's looking more like a channel. If price, okay, let me see. I think there's something here, but trade with a lot of caution. Price has been eating this level and breaking out, as in reversing. So this is looking like a pin bar. If by 10 o'clock this morning, this pattern, this candlestick pattern is sustained on GBP USD, then you can take a sell on it. You can take a sell if it is sustained. What I mean being sustained, you have a long shadow and a small body like this. Yes, GBP USD should sell. If you have that, it should sell, But then take a lot of caution. When we say take a lot of caution, what we're saying is that use a small lot size, risk little. Don't say, oh, they've told us it's going to sell, so you put one lot. I didn't send you that, though, please. I don't do risky trading. It's better to compound the profit small, and it builds up than trying to risk all on one trade. And, an issue happens along the line and you lose a trade. So if this pattern is sustained by 10 o'clock, like I said, you can take a sell on GBP USD. And if you target that support level, that should give you some 40 pips thereabouts on the average. I hope I answered the question on GBP USD.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Please, even I don't know if you have
Alright,
already
thank you,
analyzed the USD CAD and USD CHF. I don't know if you have analyzed it already.
No, I have not. It's not part of the instruments I'm analyzing this morning.
Okay. Please, I don't know if you can help us to check on it.
Okay. So I've done GBP USD. Somebody is asking about Euro JPY and US JPY. Now I've mentioned Euro JPY. Um, okay, for Euro JPY, I said we're expecting a bearish movement. You can see the pattern. It's a rising wedge. So we're expecting it to sell. So we're looking out for bearish opportunities. We're waiting for price to break out of this wedge. We're waiting for price to break out of the rising wedge here downwards to sell. So we're bearish bias. That's very straightforward. Now, for USD JPY, I did not analyze it primarily because of what, if you see all the JPYs peers, excuse me, just a second, please. All right, so that's the analysis of Euro JPY. It's bearish. We are bearish biased. Now for GBP, sorry, for USD JPY, that I said for USD JPY, you exercise a lot of caution because if you check, most of the JPY pairs they are bearish. Most of them are quite bearish, including that. Now we may want to say USD JPY will go bearish, but then we are having a very powerful bearish setup also on gold. So today you need to take a lot of trades with a lot of caution. Just watch out. Don't just jump on a trade. Yes, USD JPY2 at the moment is showing as if it's going to sell. So we may have a short-term move. This is a head and shoulder on USD JPY. Though the bearish sell trade on gold is actually more like a long-term thing, or let's say medium-term. It's on 4-hour time frame, and USD is showing bullish. Now, the reason why we have to take caution is because these two instruments they are negatively correlated, meaning if one is buying, the other one is selling. So I don't advise you take both of them together. It's not safe. You only stick with one. You stick with one. You don't trade USD and gold at the same time. Because if gold is buying, USD is selling. What if gold reverses to selling? You know, anything can happen. So USD is having a head and shoulder pattern on the 1-hour time frame. It's near a support level here, but for me, for now, I just want to stay out of it. I want to concentrate more on what gold, will do. I want to concentrate more on what gold will do. So if you want to take it, well, you can. That means if you want to take it to stay out of gold, that's just that's a clear truth about it. That's a clear truth about it. If you want to trade JPY, then don't bother looking at gold. You can't take both of them together. Okay. I don't want to say categorically it's bearish biased, because anything can happen. It may be a short-term thing, So I want to stay out of it because I just want to stay out of it. Let me put it that way. US 200. I think another person was asking about Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD. The Euro USD setup is looking like a triangle pattern. But then we are not having a clear, we're not seeing price clearly hitting any resistance level at this point. Like I always say, I believe more in precision trading. You must be certain of what you're doing. Yes, the dollar came out, the NFP came out to favor the dollar. So fundamentally, we expect Euro USD to sell. But then for me, I prefer to back it up with the technical, and I'm not seeing the technicals. That's why if I'm not telling you the analysis on an instrument, is because it does not fit into my trading plan. It doesn't. That's why I don't mention some instruments. The ones I've mentioned are the ones where we have very good setup, a high probability setup. I'm not saying that on Euro USD, so I will advise to stay out of Euro USD. And
So please, which ones that you checked, you analyzed at the beginning that was more mature to go into it? Because I didn't.
okay, I have analyzed Euro JPY. It's bearish. Euro GPP is bearish. AUD JPY is bearish. Let me just run through for the sake of those who came in late. Please let's learn to come in early so that we won't need to be going back and forth. This is Euro JPY. We're expecting a bearish trade. It's a rising wedge. We're expecting it to go bearish. Euro GBP, we're expecting it also to go bearish. You can see it's going bullish at the moment. I said it for those who are here earlier. You need to wait for price to break. This pin bars here. This is a head and shoulder pattern, but you need to wait for price to break this level. So you don't just jump on the trade. So the setup is, looking like it's wait. Just be exercise patience. It's possible this pattern is still trying to make the second round a shoulder, a head. Probably not as good, or maybe he wants to go and make a second shoulder, then now drop. So you need to wait for a complete break of the neckline and all this shadow. They are minor support levels. You need to wait for a break of those levels before you can take a sell on the Euro GBP. Also, we're expecting a bearish movement on AUD JPY. On AUD JPY, there's a rising wedge. Now, all the setup we are seeing, they are technical setup that I'm giving us. Peradventure price decides to, instead of break out downwards, it goes upwards. Please, you are not to take a buy. It means that setup did not work. You look for a fresh one. You don't run after trades. You wait for trades to come in line with your setup. So if it's not fitting in, no hard feelings. You wait for the next one. You trade with experience. Don't run after pips. Stay and let it come and meet you with your setup. That's how to trade. So ADJPY sell, CAD JPY also were awaiting a bearish trade on CAD JPY. The same thing, CHF JPY, we're expecting it to go bearish. And likewise, New Zealand JPY. And gold, we are expecting a bearish trade on gold on the 4-hour time frame. It's possible, like I said, there are 3 scenarios that will happen on gold. 1, price might break out straight away. 2, it may form a shoulder head, come down here, go up, form the second shoulder and sell. That's the second scenario. Third scenario is that price could go from here, make a double top and sell. But what is important is that wait for a complete breakout before you sell on gold. And since it's a swing trade 4 hours, for me, I want to hold on to this because price on the daily time frame, a lot of technicals is supporting gold. You see, as I said, me, I look out for trades with high probability. On the daily time frame, gold could not break it couldn't break out of the descending channel. It couldn't break out upwards. It couldn't break out of the support on resistance. It's forming a rising channel, rising wedge on 4 hour. These have more reasons for itself for me compared to USD JPY. So I'll give it a priority over USD JPY. That's the way I trade. I look out for that instrument that have more probabilities compared to the other one. So I'd rather stick with the gold and see how it plays out than take the USD JPY trade.
So at which number we are looking at it?
I didn't get you, sir.
At which number we are looking at it when it gets to maybe? At which number? At which level? Which level are we looking at it when it gets to before we can? Which level? Like is it on 1783.20? Around which of the levels it will get to?
If you are looking at levels, I will say something below to be more safe. Let's assume this is a neckline of, let's assume it will form a double, a head and shoulder pattern. So this level here will be the neckline. So we're looking at any time price breaks below 1760.20, then you can take a sell. But outside that, please stay out. If it breaks out below 1760.20, you can take a sell on gold, because by then your RSI will definitely have crossed below 50. Your MACD is even almost coming close to zero. So that tells us it's a lot more mature trades to take. So it's, you just exercise patience till you see that. But once it happens, we're expecting some massive movement on gold. Potentially gold this week is what, just a second. Let's say we enter some pips below here, is what between 200 to 300, that's about 500 pips if you set to trades. But please, gold is volatile. Don't use high lot size. I beg of you, don't use a high lot size on gold. It's very volatile. Just use a lot size that's commensurate to your account size. If you're on less than $500, $300 and below, please use 0.01. If you're on $1,000, use 0.02. It's safe. It's safe for you. All right, finally, somebody is asking about the NAS.
So
I'm with you.
So the USD is going to be bearish, right? Thank you, sir.
It may be, but like I said, I'm not looking at it. I have more probabilities on gold compared to USDJPY. I hope I answered the question.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I'll take the last question in US 200. Then we'll close for today. US 200. Now, for those who were with us last week, we were looking at US 200 and it formed. Now, if you go on the weekly time frame, okay, this is better off on daily. On the daily time frame, we can see, okay, let me start all over so that it will clear to some of us who are just joining. Now, you can see price hits a support level here, 2, 3. It broke out here, came up, came down again. It hit it again the 4th time, it bounced back. Now this is support here, it turned to resistance, and currently price is on that level. So that tells you that this is what we call a key level, a level where price bounces every time it gets there. That's what the key level simply is. So it has formed a support turn resistance in this instance. So if you drop down to a lower time frame like 4 hours, we cited a rising wedge. As a last Friday before the NFP, it was a rising wedge. We were expecting a breakout. Now, some of these things don't, like I always say, we don't control the market. We can only, give you analysis based on experience, based on the knowledge you have about the market. We thought maybe once the NFP is released, there'll be a breakout. But instead of breaking out, it still retrace upwards. But then this is a very sharp rising wedge. It will still break out. So exercise some patience. Wait for price to break out downwards. And I will advise you also be patient enough for price to break for the RSI to go below 50, even if price has broken out downwards on the rising wedge and your RSI is still above 50, please hold on. Wait for price to go below your 50 RSI, before you take a sell trade on US 200. Please, that person should rather type. Please, if your device is making noise, please just type. I'll see it. Someone is saying he needs analysis on gold. Please, I will not keep going back. Please, let's learn to join this class early. I've analyzed gold more than 2 times now. And what goes for the US 2000 also goes on NAS 100. It's still the same thing, a bearish setup. It broke out. You can see it's retracing. Then we're expecting the final breakout. Let's take this level here as a minor support. So you wait for that support level to be broken, and preferably your RSI below zero, sorry, below 50. Then you can take a sell on the NAS 200. And please, NAS 200, US 2000, just like gold, they are very, very volatile. So trade them with a lot of caution. Is gold a bearish or bullish bias? Gold is bearish biased. However, in the short term, it could go bullish, but ultimately it's a bearish bias. I missed the analysis on gold. When can we place trade on it? I'll take gold for the last time, and please, after this, I may not entertain any question on gold again, because I think I've overemphasized on this. Now, this is gold setup on my screen, as you can see. On the daily time frame, we had a descending channel, and price could not break that channel last week. Also, we have a support tone resistance level, which price could not break. On 4 hour, now when price could not break the daily channel, it means it was going to sell. When it could not break the support on resistance, it means we're expecting a bearish trade. Or 4 hours, we're seeing a rising wedge, it means we're equally expecting a bearish trade. 3 reasons why we're expecting gold to go bearish. 4th reason is that NFP came out to favor the dollar, meaning the dollar should go bullish and gold will go bearish. That is why I can tell you authoritatively that gold will go bearish. Now, if it chooses not to go bearish, I don't control the market. I've given all the technicals and the fundamentals that supports the fact that gold will go bearish. So we'll wait and see how market turns out. So we are bearish biased on gold. We are waiting for the trade to break out of the trend line completely before we sell gold, and preferably your RSI below 50 before we sell gold. So gold is bearish. Samuel Elliott, you say, mention those instruments that are negatively correlated with the dollar. Please, we'll entertain all this in the training class. This is analysis. You know, when we talk about correlation, it talks about how some instruments move in the market. Some move in the same direction and some move in opposite direction. So gold, for instance, is negatively correlated to USDJPY, USDCHF because it's opposing to them. Whereas Euro USD, GBP USD, you know, they are positively correlated because they go in the same direction. So I think that's all I can entertain on that for now. And I hope I answered the question. Okay, so I think we have to end the class today. Just watch all these instruments as we stated out and take a lot of question. Yes.
Please, you made mention of something concerning the RSI below 50. On what particular time frame should we be looking at?
It depends on the instrument you're analyzing. Like for gold, the analysis on gold is on 4 hours. So you wait for your RSI on 4 hours to cross below 50. For the JPY pairs, we analyze them on 1 hour time frame. So you wait for your RSI to cross below 50 on the 1 hour time frame. So it's the time frame that determines that. All right. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining. So
have a great day.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Mr. Adeko.
No, I said have a great day, sir.
You too. Mr. Adeko, you're raising your hand. You want to say something?
No, you have answered it, sir.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming. See you some other time. And have a great day.
Yes, sir.
Bye.